Wake up, everyone. It's Monday morning here at Muscle in the Morning, and I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is September 10th, 2018. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. One thing you learn when you're an entrepreneur is that there's no such thing as a sure bet. But when you've got a 7-time Mr. Olympia sitting on the edge of history in bodybuilding, that's probably about as close to a sure thing as you can get. With the chance to tie Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman as the winningest men's Olympia champ of all time, all eyes in the bodybuilding world right now are glued to Phil Heath and his march toward the record books. True to form, news from inside the Heath camp has been few and far between throughout his entire prep. But the closer we get to showtime, the more I'm starting to hear rumblings that the Heath camp thinks this is the year they deliver their coup de grace. And no matter which way this thing ends up playing out, when it's all said and done, the way we remember the 2018 Olympia rides and dies on the what happens with Phil Heath on that stage inside the Orleans Arena. Getting invited to the hottest girl in high school's after prom party is usually the highlight of most guys' life. And come this time Saturday night, Angelica Teixeira is probably hoping people are saying the same thing about her post-Olympia victory celebration. The defending champion is starting to creep closer and closer to the day she's had circled on her calendar for months now, when she'll put her Bikini Olympia title on the line for the first time against this group of hungry challengers. Teixeira has proven over the last 12 months that she's not the type to back down from a challenge. And if any of these other girls think they're heading in there and she's not going to put the dogfight of her life up, it might end up being a mistake that they soon won't forget. Speaking of parties, the list of guys who actually know how to have a good time in bodybuilding really isn't all that long. And if I were going to throw a post-Olympia party, I'd make sure that Juan Morel was the first name on my list. The latest news coming out of Camp Diesel is that the top Olympia hopeful is back and better than ever this year, which makes the way the top 10 is about to shake out all that much more confusing. A 100% Juan Morel can do things conditioning-wise that other athletes in this lineup flat out can't do. So when the dust finally settles, it'll be interesting to see where exactly he ends up landing. There are times in life where you just have to close your eyes, hold your breath, and just take a leap of faith, which is exactly what third-year big man Josh Wade is doing in his first Olympia prep. After a long and wild season, Wade and his team are ready to put a final exclamation point on the best year of his pro career by making one simple statement at this year's Olympia: I belong here. When he's been at his best, we've seen Wade show a few flashes that could make him an intriguing prospect depending on how these call-outs shape up. And if things start working in his favor, you never know how this final act might eventually play out. I'm a huge believer in learning how to prioritize things in your life, because success at anything worth doing in life requires action, and it requires it now. But thankfully for her, my old friend Heather Dees already managed to figure that one out. Earlier this week, I caught an update from the former top 5 finisher who looks like she's back to feeling and looking better than I've seen her since back when she was at the peak of her powers, crushing every stage she stepped on. For a lot of people out there, the combination of flow, symmetry, and muscle that Dees brings to the table at her best epitomizes what the figure division should be all about. So if that's the Heather Dees we're all about to get this time around, the top 5 better get ready to handle the Dees train that's coming storming into Olympia Station. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.